Good evening and welcome to this month's edition of the School Zone. I'm your student host, Tyler Cochran. Tonight we will begin our journey into the School Zone with a visit to Jane Addams Elementary School. Each year, students participate in the Geography Bee competition. We were invited to watch Jane Addams' final competition.
I want to welcome everyone that's here to the Jane Addams School Geography Bee. Today what we have some students that participated in their classroom in a preliminary competition. They took a written test. From that, we took the top students from the school, and they will be participating today in the School Bee. A pipeline carries oil from Perdigue Bay to the port of Valdez in which state? Texas. It's Alaska. The Illinois and Des Moines River are tributaries of what other river? The Illinois and Des Moines River are tributaries of which other river? Correct. I'm Kari Peterson. I am the ULE teacher here at Jane Addams Elementary. You just finished watching the School Geography Bee, which takes place every year at each elementary school. There is a Geography Bee, and the School Bee is determined by the students participate in preliminary classroom Geography Bee. From there, they then have 10 finalists for the School Geography Bee. The winner of the School Bee then goes on to participate in a District Geography Bee, which is held usually around March, and the ULE department hosts that. The school winner also participates in the State Bee if they qualify on a written test. Italy. That ends the championship round, and right now you have one correct, so he will be the school champion. Thank you to all the parents for coming and watching the School Bee. And thank you, students. You are a wonderful audience. You guys all sat very quietly and let them answer. And I hope you learned a little bit more about geography today. Today we have with us our winner, who is David Giddy. He is a fourth grader in Mrs. Popinga's room. And he will again have the chance to participate next year in the School Bee because it's just for 4th and 5th graders.
I feel like I can't believe it, but I just wanted to try my best, and I like to have a good game about Geography Bee, and I just want to know that it's not about winning, it's just about just try your best and you'll make it. You'll always reach in the stars and reach in the clouds when you're on the ground, if you just believe in yourself.
Can you tell me what your favorite subject in school is?
Art.
You like art? Now what are you going to do to prepare for the city Geography Bee? Are you going to study some things special?
I'm going to read on the atlas.
All right. So what do you think your chances are? You're going to be competing against 20-some other children. You think you've got a chance to win the championship?
Only if I try my best and not, not believe in myself. If I don't believe in myself, maybe I'm not going to win. But if I just reach in the stars and believe in myself, maybe there is a chance I'll win.
The city finalists of the Geography Bee are held each year in the studios of Owl TV. Watch this year's event live on Friday, March 19th at 1:30 p.m. Our next two stories take us to Garfield Elementary. First, we will look at the results of a grant written by 2 teachers. The grant put handheld computers into the classrooms for 2nd graders to use.
I'm Kathy Storm from Garfield Elementary. I teach in the resource room here. And we're going to talk a little bit about the grant that we wrote and were awarded this August. And this is my co-worker, Kathy Holter, and she teaches in 2nd grade here at Garfield. We were fortunate enough to attend a TIE conference this summer in July in Brookings. And during the conference, Kathy had taken a course on Palm Pilots or handhelds in the classroom, and she told me about a grant that was going to be due at the beginning of August. And we sat down together and quickly wrote up a grant in about 3 days to get money and equipment for the classrooms using handhelds based on a weather unit. And we were fortunate enough to be awarded that. We got $11,000 to use for equipment to purchase for our classroom. And we have just been starting our weather unit by having Brian Karstens from Kelloland TV come in and do a little talk about weather and kind of get the kids interested in learning about this unit.
That was a motivating factor, I think, for a lot of them as we were working on doing a KWOL chart today. Many of the things they were talking about were things that Brian had specifically said, so we were grateful that he came and gave us that information. The next step that we are looking into, we've been doing some internet searches on weather, different kinds of weather. And the kids, it just seems like since he came in talking about tornadoes, they really have that on their mind. But we want to get them past just tornadoes. We want them thinking about all kinds of weather conditions. So they will be doing some more internet searches on just what truly makes weather and all the different types of conditions. Then our next step as well between Mrs. Storm and I is to work with the young people. We're going to set up 3 different types of weather conditions in living areas, and we're going to use ant farms. So this ought to be fun, totally experimental. We're going to see what it's like to be in a perfect living condition with one ant farm. Another one, probably more like a desert condition, and then one that would be cooler and more of a stormy type of condition. And the boys and girls will be observing that. They'll also use the Zaire handhelds have the capability of taking actual photos, and so they're going to use those for taking photos and writing some little reports about those. And just kind of step by step, we're going to see where that leads us. And is there anything else you want to add when we finally finish that, what our next step would be?
Yeah, after we finish doing the simulated weather conditions, the kids are going to use the information that they had researched on the internet to put together a final project. And the final project that we decided upon was to do a weather report, just like they would on the news. And so the kids are going to get together in teams and make up their own weather report and then videotape those. So I think this grant has given us the opportunity not only to integrate technology using the handhelds in the classroom, but we've also had a great opportunity to collaborate between special ed and regular ed, to collaborate between different grade levels, and then just to be able to sit down and create this interesting, fun unit that the kids get excited about.
Right. Besides using them so far for even weather, I know Mrs. Storm has been able to use them in a resource room with some of the young people there. And I've had my children practice spelling, and they're really excited to be doing some type of math practice. And so we're looking for adding some math software to where they can be doing either some math games, specific math practices. And what's great is that when we can zero in on a need of a child, then we can choose an appropriate level and activity in a particular game or such, as we said. And we've also been looking into the e-books. We have a number of e-books ordered, and the boys and girls are just going to be so excited, I think, when they get to see what titles of books we have chosen for them and to be able to read and then take some little comprehension quizzes at the end of those. So I see some great benefit in learning time ahead for the second graders in our class in 201 at Garfield, as well as I'm sure for Mrs. Storm in her resource room.
When we were awarded this grant it was towards the end of August, I think September was when we first started it. We had to meet with people from the Department of Education via the DDN sites, and their instruction to us was, to start the unit, start the ordering, and then we are required to give them updates every month around the 10th of the month. We just send them a quick email to let them know what types of things we've been working on so far, what we're expecting to work on for the next month, any questions or concerns that we have. And then February 1st, we have to give them a final summary or survey of the things that we've done so far and how we feel the project has gone, any questions or concerns, or things that we would like to see done differently with the grant. Just kind of a summary of what we've been working on.
And we found out, I guess, really to totally wrap this up, February 10th is the absolute deadline, and it's coming upon us very quickly. We've ran into a few glitches with getting our supplies ordered, either not being able to get them at the appropriate time, so we're feeling a little bit pinched for time on this weather unit because of just even receiving another piece of a big projector that we needed so that we can project information on a screen and all the boys and girls can hear this and see things at one time. A little tough for all of them to get to see one little handheld, and so we can be able to tap into using our larger projection system, and that has just come, and we're still waiting for some software. So it just seems like to try to meet that last deadline, we're going to do our best and enjoy while we're going and learning with the kids.
I am Joseph Deno. I am 7 years old, and
Okay. Now, can you tell me about using the handhelds and what you've learned about using them?
well, we learned about beaming them to other people, to other friends and stuff, and we learned about how to type with them and use the typo and everything, and that's mostly what we learned about it. And we beam a lot of stuff to people. That's mostly what we know all about.
Can you tell me what you're doing today and what the lesson's about?
We are supposed to write 2 questions for you and ask you stuff.
My name's Sarah Balk. I'm not 8 years old. I'm in 2nd grade, and we're working with handhelds, and we learned about hooking a probe to them and measuring the temperatures in the snow and on the wall and in the grass. We are typing questions and comments today, and we learned how to type on our typer, and that's all.
Each year at Garfield, and all city elementary students are trained to be conflict managers on the playground. Let's find out how this works.
Hi, I'm Valerie Horacek, and I'm the counselor at Garfield and All City Schools. All City Elementary has trained conflict managers for several years, and when they joined Garfield 6 years ago, I was trained, along with several staff members, in the conflict management process steps. Shelley Pearson and Sue Greeno, all city teachers, and Anya Hookman, our principal, trained all of us in that process because we thought it would be important for students to learn to help other children solve conflicts. Our program this year is called Peacemakers. All of our 4th and 5th graders are trained. We use the conflict management process steps from the Community Board's program. It's a 10-week program where we learn communication skills, iMessages, we learn to identify conflict styles, and we learn the conflict management process steps. I've also added a component that I feel is important for children, and that is to learn anger management and to learn how to handle bullies in a peaceful manner. The premise is that I feel that students need to learn to handle their own problems before they can help others solve their conflicts. After learning these skills, we spend about 3 weeks practicing the conflict management process steps. The student's job is to help other students solve conflicts on the playground. We still have teachers outside supervising, of course, but our conflict managers, peacemakers, help students solve low-level conflicts. I feel that this has been a real benefit to our school. I think that our students have gained from this experience, and most importantly, I feel that they are learning lifetime skills that will help enhance their relationships in the future. I'm really proud of our program.
Hi, I'm Jay Martin. I like conflict management because I like helping people. And We get to eat lunch in Mrs. Horacek's office once a week, and we do it for 3 days in a row for like, I don't know, once every 3 months, and that's it.
Hi, my name is Megan. I'm in 5th grade at Garfield Elementary. I like conflict management because you get to help little kids with their friendship problems, and it's fun, and it helps kids, it makes the world a better place, and it helps them with a better life.
Can you tell me a little bit about the training and how that went?
Training was fun. We got to like get in for a group of 3 or 4, and we used sheets and went over them, and Ms. Horacek gave us a sheet, and 2 of the disputants had a problem, and the other 2 solved the conflict.
Hi, my name is Stephen, and I am in 5th grade at Garfield Elementary. And if somebody's playing football or something and they won't let them play, we go over there and see if they want to help. And if they say no, we just watch them and stuff. And then if we solve one, it feels really good after we're done. Thank you.
Hi, it's me again, Molly. I'm a 5th grade at Garfield School. I just want to say sometimes conflict hard. Sometimes don't mind. Sometimes you just gotta stick together. That's what conflict do. So if you can, don't just get mad. If they won't cooperate with you, just tell the teacher. They don't mean to get blow up, because I like it. I love it. But I ain't solved conflict yet, but I'm still mad at it. No biggie with me. So.
One thing we do on the playground is to help kids solve their own conflicts. That's why we were trained to do conflict management. And we teach them like to not get mad and just deal with it or solve it themselves.
We work together by helping kindergartens and stuff by solving their own conflicts without fighting. Thank you.
Our last journey into the school zone takes us to Longfellow Elementary School. Longfellow has one of the most diverse student populations in the Sioux Falls School District. Music teacher John Mogan adapted a poem to music which second grader students were eager to share with us.
Beginning. We can learn a lot from crayons. We have to learn to live. We need to learn to live together in the same box. Charlie.
Hi, I'm Mr. John Mogan, and I wear 3 hats at this school. First hat is I'm a neighbor. I only live a couple blocks from Longfellow School, and I'm also a parent of a 3rd grade boy here. His name is Charlie. And the 3rd hat, which may be the most important hat right now, is that I get to be one of the music teachers here. At one of the middle school conferences that we had, we heard a lady speak, and I saw a poem called We Could Learn a Lot from Crayons. The lady's name is Beverly Bennett Roberts. I rewrote a few of the words, but wrote this song. It could almost be a school song for her at Longfellow. Longfellow has so many wonderful cultures that we can learn from. You know, whether a child was born in China or Kenya or Sudan. We have many Mexican, Hispanic Americans here, and they're all just such smiling faces. We can learn so much from them. I love the cultures here. They're just tremendous.
Yes, from crayons we learn many things. Some are short and stubby. Some are long and lean.
Hi, my name is Alondra Valdivinos, and we sing this song because it's really important about crayons. And we like this song too much because we have seen it a lot of times. And we like it too much.
You like music?
Yes.
And what do you think's the best thing about being in music?
It's Good. You can learn a lot of songs and sing too much.
That's great, thank you.
I'm one of the students from the Crayons song, and I pretty much think the song is a song of symbolism. It means that like the crayons, they mean all of us, and the box means the whole world, and we all have to fit in the same box. And I like music because you don't have to, well, I like singing because you don't have to buy it, or you just use your voice.
Great. Thank you.
We can learn a lot from crayons. From crayons, we can learn a lot. Some are sharp, some are dull, some are pretty. Yes, from crayons, we learn many things. Some are short and stubby. Some are long and lean. Some have straight things, but they all have different colors. Now you see what we mean. We can learn a lot from crayons. We have to learn to live. We need to learn to live together in the same box. We can learn a lot from crayons. From crayons, we can learn a lot. Some are sharp, some are dull, some are pretty. Yes, from crayons, we learn many things. Some are short and stubby. Some are long and lean. Some have straight things, but they all have different colors. Now you see what we mean. We can learn a lot from crayons. We have to learn to live. We need to learn to live together in the same box.
Hi, I'm Jeff Little, Television Operations Specialist here at OWL TV. We had a special opportunity to videotape Roosevelt's band concert last Thursday night, and they featured a special song written about South Dakota by a former Sioux Falls native. Craig Alberty will tell us more about the song and the performance.
My name is Craig Alberty. I'm a native of Sioux Falls, but now live in Florence, South Carolina, where I'm the band director at Francis Marion University. I was commissioned by Roosevelt and Edison school bands to write a piece for their groups, and when we talked about the project, we decided that it would be good to try and in some way reference or make the piece relevant to Sioux Falls. So I did some research down at the Old Courthouse Museum and at Falls Park and found some interesting facts. And after I did the research, I built a loose structure that I wanted to build the piece around, decided that I would focus on three characteristics: the clock tower on the courthouse, the falls themselves, of course, and then I decided to write a slower middle section, which is somewhat like a hymn to signify the importance that a lot of the early settlers placed on their religious faith. So I had basically three sections of the piece. I wrote music that I thought was appropriate to describe each section, and then used the craft of composition to try and string those together in a way that made musical sense. It was a really enjoyable experience. Being able to write about something that I've known my whole life. I found out some really interesting facts for myself along the way, and it was an interesting challenge trying to come up with music that in some way to describe those different characteristics of the city. We rehearsed the piece for just a couple of days. I'd sent the music out about 6 weeks ahead of time, after I finished the composition, and the bands rehearsed it themselves, of course, and did a lot of preparation and having the music ready. And then when I got here, we spent a couple of days working mostly in individual groups. The symphony band from Rosevelt had learned the piece, so I worked with them individually, and then I went out to two of the middle schools that were involved, Edison and Memorial, and rehearsed those students separately. And then we pulled it all together for one rehearsal the morning of the concert, and then I again went out and worked with the individual middle school groups again that afternoon, and then we got it all together for the night of the concert. That was somewhat of an experience because those groups had never played together before. To do it on music that really hadn't been field tested, I was just a little bit concerned about that, but that seemed to go pretty well. I had some reservations after working with the individual groups if we'd be able to pull everything together into one performance that really sounded like the groups had been playing together, but the kids did just a marvelous job of adjusting to the situation. They'd been well prepared by their band directors, so that helped a lot, and it all came together very well from my perspective, a very satisfying performance and first reading of the piece, and the audience seemed to receive it very warmly, so in my estimation it was a very successful experience.
That's all for this month's School Zone. Join us again in February for another edition of the School Zone. Good night.